The sea and underwater holds lots of surprises. There are fish and plants in beautiful colors, and who doesn't love a vacation at the beach? We begin with these great shells. Bring vacation home with you every day with shells you make from paper mache. I love this little shell in the background that I've surrounded with real sand and seashells. Let's see what else we need to make it. You'll need some sand, some shells, paint pens, decorative paper, a foam egg, instant paper mache, a shadow box, some thick glue, acrylic paint, and a craft knife to cut your foam. The first thing we're going to do is cut our egg in half. And we've got our sawing motion going. We're just going to try to saw it as evenly as we can. Now the next step is kind of crazy, but we're going to take the thinner of the two halves and then smush it between our hands because we want to get this thing as thin as we possibly can, because our shadow box is only so deep and we're going to build up the thickness with our clay. So you want to just mash that down, taper the ends a little bit, and then mash it down again. And we've got our seashell form. The next thing we're going to do is mix our paper clay. This starts out looking like this, powdered paper, but then we're going to add a little bit of water to it. And you can find the instructions in the box. And you're going to mix it with a spoon or a fork, or I'm going to protect my hands with this glove. And you would just keep mixing that until it's consistently mixed and looks something like this. I've got some ready for us. Now you're going to pat your clay over the foam like so. And you just want to kind of smooth it out. And this is kind of cool because the glue is already in our paper mache, so we don't have to add anything, and it's already sticky. Just smooth it out. You can use your finger and some water to make the clay really smooth. And then you want to add some lines to give it that seashell look. And you would just keep working your way on around the edges, adding clay as you go. And then when you're finished, you're going to set it in a nice dry spot to dry, somewhere where it's not too humid. And we'll work this edge a little bit more. And you can see in front of me, I've got one ready to go that's already dried out. I've got a couple here actually. Now let's make it into a real seashell. Once you get your dried piece, you're going to add a little bit of color. You can make your seashell whatever color you want. I'm going to use an off-white here. Oops, I got a little clay on my hand here. And you're just going to brush this paint over. Now the cool thing about these is they're really lightweight and you can't break them. So you would just keep brushing paint over, and you can kind of blend it in like you go, as you go. And you can add some orange on top of that, and it looks really cool when the paint swirls together like this. And you would just keep going until you've covered your whole shell, and you'll have something like this one. Now you can use some paint pens in whatever colors you like to add some more details. Let me come up here. I want to add some polka dots. Oops, I forgot to mix my paint pen up a little bit. Give it a good shake. Let's come over to this side and we're going to add some polka dots, because you can make your shells a little bit funky, right? And we've got one ready right here. Now to work on the background piece. I've gone ahead and base coated the back panel of the shadow box frame. And base coating simply means just giving a coat of paint like the brown for the sand, the blue for the water, and light blue for the sky. To add a little bit of detail, you can use paint pens to draw some plants. I'm imagining these kind of things growing along the dunes, which is a sandy park up in Michigan that I go to. And you can add as many as you want. You can add some short little spiky ones. And then take a look at this one that I've really embellished with a little bit more paint and some other colors of paint pens. Now to finish off the shell, we're going to just put a little bit of glue on the back piece. And I've just cut this little circular, half circle piece from decorative paper. And then you're going to add a little bit more glue to the back of your shell and set that in place. And then let's take a look at our finished sample. I've painted the frame to match the inside piece and then filled the bottom with sand and more shells. If you don't want to make the whole shadow box, you could make this sweet little pearl necklace. This is the shell. I just poked a hole in the top and stuck a Chanel stem loop so I could make it into a necklace.